I'm Maya.
And I'm EJ.
IPoly students know how expensive Cal Poly Pomona's food can be.
No kidding. Meals can get up to $10 to $12 at the more expensive places.
To help with this problem, our team set out to find great meals that fit the bill.
Our surveys have shown that the average IPoly student spends about $23 on lunch every week. That's including the people who have free lunch or bring lunch from home, though. If we include only the people who get lunch from Cal Poly or off campus, it skyrockets to $76. How much do you spend a week on lunch?
Around 30.
On what?
Mostly I would go up or up most of the time.
Okay. So have you ever thought about maybe bringing your own lunch?
I used to, but then at the starting of freshman year I used to. But then what happened was it was too much of a hassle because the thing is, I would have to carry that around while watching my backpack and my purse and make sure that I don't leave it anywhere else. And it was just really a big hassle for me to have it's like carrying 3 bags at once. And I just didn't really want to do that at all.
So how much do you spend on lunch per week?
Like $20 to $40.
Okay, so where do you spend that?
Mostly the Denver Vista.
Okay. So I've talked to some very budgeting people, and they said that in the course of a week, they can spend all of $5 or $10 if they manage it right. What do you think? Do you think you could ever do that?
No.
Oh, why not?
I eat a lot.
You could go to Taco Bell.
But Taco Bell's expensive.
I guess. How much do you spend on lunch per week?
Around $5 to $10.
Okay. So when you say $5 to $10, you mean for your actual meals every day or just snacks?
For my meals.
Oh, okay. So where do you spend that $5 or $10?
Carl's Jr. or Taco Bell.
This man's a mastermind, clearly.
I'll be sure to try those.
Everyone knows about the recent wildfires that have been springing up all over California.
Some of us have even had our power shut off by California Edison.
But why are there more fires this year than there were last?
Well, let's take a closer look.
You've probably heard the news.
Tonight, firefighters are finally gaining ground on massive wildfires burning in California.
Now to the other major headline tonight, the governor of California declaring a statewide emergency.
Millions left without power and multiple properties were lost in California.
The Maria fire sparking a wall of flames above the city of Santa Paula, forcing 8,000 to flee their homes.
That's right, California is on fire. Over the last few weeks, California has been covered by multiple fires spanning from Sonoma to Simi Valley. One of the biggest threats right now, the Maria fires, has destroyed nearly 9,400 acres of land so far, twice the size of San Francisco. Seeing as these hit so close to home, how are they affecting our students? So have you personally been affected by the recent California fires?
Yes, I have. I need to take my inhaler a lot more, and I've had a lot more trouble breathing on a regular basis when I'm outside.
Honestly, not really, unless you talk about the smoke, the smell of the smoke. Other than that, maybe my car is getting dirty because it's always dusty now.
What safety precautions do you have when there is a fire nearby?
I try to stay indoors as much as possible. When I am outdoors, I try not to be too active.
Diamond Bar is not that far away, but it's kind of distant, so I don't really have to worry about it because it's a 20-minute drive there.
Now these firefighters don't work alone. This was the biggest fire in California in recorded history. They had to get some outside help. We were lucky enough to get a short exclusive interview with the United States Marine Corps, who have been helping the firefighters since day one.
Okay, can you briefly talk about the California fires and how you guys have dealt with them?
For the fires, we usually get a call. When we get called for the fires, it's because firefighters have exhausted their energy. So when they need more help, they call in the National Guard to help the fire department or any agency involved with the fire to aid with anything they need help with.
We at IPoly hope that you stay safe during these dangerous times.
We hope that puts some things into perspective.
Poverty is something that all nations must deal with in some quantity.
In recent years, Los Angeles' homeless population has skyrocketed to 60,000 people living in poverty.
With Thanksgiving so close by, it makes one consider the situation these people must live in, with nowhere to go on these cold winter nights.
Let's go to Isa, who is here to show us an organization that has been helping the homeless.
Hi, Polly. We're here at Pomona Valley Food Bank to interview Pastor Allen, the person who runs this whole operation. Let's take a closer look at how he gives back to the Pomona community.
My name is Pastor Allen Espinosa. I go by that name. It's elderly, as you can see. When I was in my 50s, you know, I thought about, you know, actually it was my wife's idea. She wanted to open a food bank, and we went to West Los Angeles Church, and she became a born-again Christian, and she decided that she wanted to open a food bank, and the pastor thought that was, you know, it was big endeavors for a new Christian, and then you know, and I said, "That's what you want, honey? Now let's go open one." So we end up doing everything. You know, by chance, but in fortune, but everything worked in our favor because we were truly faith-based and just both coming up in the spirit. We did this, and we grew a lot, and we started with larger distributions. We went from little vans, you know, we're picking up food, to box trucks, you know, then from box trucks to, you know, we even got a 24-foot refrigerator truck, you know, now, and we got larger equipment. And we have contacts to use 53-footers. So now we started really moving some food, and we start becoming a larger institution. And rather than being a so-and-so pantry, we actually started distributing 2 pantries. We're big vet people. I'm a disabled vet, and so I'm pro-vet. You know, I guess I'm also pro-Indian since I'm Indian. And you know, so I tend to be pro whatever I am, but the thing is, you know, that we had our hearts open for vets and their families, and you know, in a lot of programs they help the vets, but they really don't help the families. We're more interested in families. Our program has always been about feeding families. You know, I do a lot of youth programs. I love kids, by the way. Your guys are kids to me. I'm sorry, but you're kids. But you know, I love them because, you know, you guys are doing community service work and getting involved in community service. I didn't do it until I was 50. It was all about me, and me until I turned about 50. And then I started looking at about, you know, about being about others, and then the importance. And I found out a lot of joy. Now we give food, and you know, you get an old lady that cries and she thanks you for, you know, for the food, but you know, but a lot of things, those are mistakes in her lives that, you know, put her in that type of situation, or circumstances in her lives that put her in the circumstance. I'm not going to say she caused them, but the bottom line is, you know, I look at that 5-year-old, that 6-year-old, that 7-year-old kid, and I watch them light up, and that made me really light up because, you know, because they go with a lot of neglect and a lot of things they don't get to do with, not the proper food and not the proper vegetables because they're expensive. Yeah. Good food is expensive, and it's outside of a lot of people can afford. And we developed a program there where being Native, you know, we have no boundaries. You know, so we went to a lot of Native thinking. You know, if you need the food, we don't get into the religion part about it. We're faith-based, you know. You know, I've had some people tell me, you know, I don't believe in God, and you know, and you know, the cross that you got, I don't like it. I'm wearing it upside down, and I watch it. Wow. I think it's great. You know why? I asked him to look at it. When he looked at it, the cross is right side up. That was telling me he needed it more. And when he was, you know, and then if he was going to change his life, he'll spin it around to tell other people what he represents. And when I told that to him, he almost took his cross off. But anyway, but you know, but the idea is, you know, we want to do good things. We want to help people. We want to mentor kids. We want to really show people that they can be a big impact. Even me, you know, a guy who didn't think he could do much, you know, we're in a 10,000 square foot building right now, you know, and so we went from the 5 to the 10, and this is new. It's a big undertaking. You know, we're looking for donations to people that can help, you know, God Provides Ministry. Now we're opening this location in Pomona, and it's a Pomona Valley Food Bank.
Well, there you have it. This food bank is located only 15 minutes away from IPoly, so in the spirit of Thanksgiving, feel free to come by and volunteer your time.
Every year, my family and I give food to our local homeless shelters.
If anyone is able to provide, then know that your help is greatly appreciated.
Well, that just about wraps up this week's episode. I'm Maya.
And I'm EJ.
And this has been your
Eye
Eye
on
on
IPoly.
IPoly.